Keep the Home Fires Burning. Part 1, Spitfire Down, by Simon Block, narrated by Leanne Best.
Prologue. Pat Sims stood before a scene of such outlandish devastation that she couldn't move. The harsh Cheshire wind drove icy drops of rain into her face and eyes at an acute angle, forcing Pat to wipe it away with her hands to get a clear sight of what lay before her. Having run from the village as fast as she could manage in her best dress and shoes, she was struggling for breath. For a few moments, she believed that perhaps it was the lack of oxygen that caused her to hallucinate the vision in front of her. A Spitfire was sticking out of a house in her village. As she gasped for breath, Pat thought it so ridiculous it couldn't possibly be real. She must be imagining it. The tableau as a whole, but also its details. Smoke rising from the wreckage. The silhouette of a pilot in the cockpit, slouched against the closed canopy, splashed with red. The intact tail and broken wings. Even the smell of aviation fuel. Is it possible to hallucinate a smell? To prove she was imagining it all, Pat looked behind her to confirm there was no trace of where this phantom plane had come from. She then reasoned that, if the Spitfire had come from the sky, there would be no trace. To her left, she noticed the fresh damage to the church she had been sitting in just hours earlier. Then, behind the church, Pat saw the shattered chimney stacks smashed from another rooftop, reduced to bricks and dust on the wet ground. I can't be imagining all of this. She was getting her breath back. This was real. She turned back to the scene that had stopped her in her tracks. Only a sight as incongruous as this could have done that. Only something so utterly extraordinary would have overridden her mission to seek out her lover before it was too late. Pat stared at the Spitfire and realised it had crushed the house it was embedded in. It looked like a huge bird lying in a brick nest. Pat looked around for someone to call out to, then recalled that the entire village was celebrating the wedding in the village hall from where she'd just run. And then Pat heard it. From beneath the doomed Spitfire, from beneath the fresh rubble, a newborn baby's cry, struggling.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?